Sports, where we review all the best sports clips from around the country. Now, if this is your first time, please don't forget to subscribe. We are building an amazing community here, and it's turning into something truly, truly special. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, and something that we're really excited to be part of. I read every single comment, so if you think what I'm saying is the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard, let me know in the comments below. If you think what I'm saying is the most amazing thing, then definitely please let me know. Either way, let's get into some discussions, let's get into some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. So right now, we're with First Things First, talking about Brock Purdy. Christian McCaffrey has, I guess, spoke about, how Purdy takes a lot of heat for absolutely no reason. And so let's just jump right into it, see what they have to say.
Thank you. It might be your first ever.
Oh, super first things first ball. It went fast.
Christian McCaffrey talking about fellow MVP candidate Brock Purdy. Take a listen.
I don't have, enough good things to say about Brock. All he's done since he's been here is play at an elite level, and everything starts with him. And I'm just we're lucky he's our quarterback. He takes a lot of heat for absolutely no reason. All he's done is been a great leader, been a great player, and I'm so proud of him and pumped up that I get another one with him this year.
Just looking great in a Tom Brown suit. Is criticism of Brock fair, bro?
How many awesome football players at every position, past and present, have to say Brock Purdy can play for you guys to give him some props?
That's a great point.
I mean, seriously, how many? It's not fair. It's understandable. It's understandable because he was Mr. Irrelevant. I get that. But I don't know what else he has to do. I'm not going to hold it against him if he doesn't beat Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. All right? But he's every category. Great numbers, wins, played well against great teams. Sure, he has some bad games. Everybody has some bad games. And now he's shown that he can rally in the playoffs where he's undefeated. He's always got twice as many playoff wins as Dak Prescott. And then look at this.
Oh, new one.
Look at this. These are all the tough throws. 10-plus air yards. Wow. First. 20-plus air yards. First. Tight window throws. Third. 10-plus air yards.
So the thing that I wanted to just kind of interject real fast is I think that is the one thing that I'm curious to see with regards to if Nick Wright uses, let's say the 49ers lose to the Chiefs, if Nick uses that as a, see, I told you Brock Purdy isn't good and not good enough, which again is obviously not fair because you're talking about now an up-and-coming player. Even if you want to say whether Brock Purdy is trash or Brock Purdy is the greatest thing ever, right, and he's going to be the best thing ever, we know at least right now he doesn't have the experience or the complete skill set of a Patrick Mahomes, right? Patrick Mahomes is at the top of the game. I think even the biggest Brock Purdy fan would have to admit that Patrick Mahomes, at least right now in this moment, is better. I understand that from a season perspective, you could say that Brock Purdy's been playing better, but there are very specific reasons why we didn't necessarily see that from Patrick Mahomes. But again, Patrick Mahomes has the experience, the championship pedigree, all those things that Brock Purdy just does not have. And maybe he will. Maybe he's going to get it, on Sunday. And so I'm curious. Like, it is not necessarily a fair comparison in that regard. And I'm also really curious. I hope Nick doesn't skirt this. The NFL rank for this for Purdy's passer rating in terms of 10-plus air yards, 20-plus air yards, tight window, and 10-plus and tight. What his explanation for that is, right? Because we always say the players matter so much for Brock Purdy's success, right? And Shanahan as well. And I think that's definitely, of course, a factor in it. I think there's no way you could get around that. Of course, having these players around you helps Brock Purdy, without a doubt, and Shanahan helps Brock Purdy. And a lot of people seem to want to push back on that. And the best example that I can use, I was just talking about this with my one friend. We were talking about Kobe Bryant. Literally, Kobe Bryant admitted that he would have not won without Shaq or without Gasol. So if Kobe Bryant could admit that he needed the people around him to be able to win and elite players around him to win, I don't know why. I don't know how you can argue. He knows more about competition and winning more than any of us will ever know. Okay, the late great Kobe Bryant. So obviously we know that coaching and teams around have helped him, not unlike they've helped people like Mahomes and Brady and any of these other things. And that's where we're always trying to figure out how much does these other people help the subject we're talking about, right? The person we're talking about, because we've had that conversation for years about Tom Brady. And I think for whatever reason, the Brock Purdy fans seem to be very sensitive to this. And I don't really know why, because we had this conversation for years about Tom Brady. Is it Bill Belichick? Is it Tom Brady? Was Tom Brady bailed out from good defenses? Was he able to take advantage from having these elite defenses? Where would he be without Bill? Where would he be without this, that? And, and then he obviously went and won another Super Bowl, which obviously really helped his argument. But he went to another great team. He had really elite weapons, and he needed even more weapons. He needed, an elite Antonio Brown they needed to add on, and a Gronk, take him out of retirement. He needed those weapons. And think about it. Even Tom Brady said, I need Gronk. He didn't go there and say, great, I can win with whoever I want. I just need to get away from Bill and I can win. He said, no. He strategically picked Tampa Bay because he knew the weapons and the team that they had. And then he said, I need Gronk. Go out and get me Gronk. And then he said, I need Antonio Brown. Go out and get me Antonio Brown. He said, I need these players. You need to get them for me. And they did. And then he won, right? And so Tom Brady is saying he needs those things. So we know those things matter. And the problem is, and this has always been the problem with evaluating Brock Purdy, is that there's so many amazing weapons. That roster is so good. And again, if you're a Brock Purdy fan and a 49ers fan, you should be so happy about that. You should be like, hell yeah, we have this amazing roster. But for some reason, a lot of the fans take it as like an insult. And I really don't know why. I really don't. Jalen Hurts was getting a lot of similar criticism last year, saying that the Eagles roster is just too stacked and that's why they made the Super Bowl. And I remember thinking, hell yeah, we got A.J. Brown. We got the best offensive line, Lane Johnson, Kelsey, Smith. We got all this. You can't stop us. And I loved it. Best defensive line, all those things. It was like, yeah, it's a team game. Best offensive coordinator in the game, Shane Steichen. It was you were excited about the whole thing. And I got the sensitivity of being like, well, who are you to say, Jalen Hurts isn't that good and all of that. But then again, we saw a major step back for Jalen after he lost his offensive coordinator. And things weren't perfect for him. And Jalen took a massive step back. And the criticism is warranted. And so, the truth is we don't know what Brock Purdy is until there's potentially more adversity with some of these things, with the players you're playing with. He's definitely faced some adversity on the field in terms of game play now, right? Coming from behind and all those things. He's faced adversity, like injury adversity, which I think is a great point that someone made in the comments before, which is also, really, really awesome. But now it's really like, how well can he play when, he doesn't have all of these elite weapons, pretty much the top elite weapons in the NFL. That is the big question. And now he's going up against a top level defense in the Chiefs. And it's like, where does he go from there? We saw what happened when they played a top level defense against the Ravens. And he looked terrible. And the 49ers as a whole looked terrible. And so now he's going to be going up against a comparable defense. And, I'm really curious to see what happens. And I think the fact that they failed so badly against the Ravens helps the 49ers, because I think they learn a lot from that.
Tight window throws first. I mean, come on. What else does the guy need to do to make you say he's a baller? He can play.
Yeah. So
He's
I guess his
very good.
answer is the criticism's unfair.
So-
Go ahead, Coach.
You were going to your prop closet.
I'm just when Nick goes, I got something for him.
Uh-oh. Get ready.
There is an element of where he was drafted as
Yes.
to why people are hesitant.
Right.
So I agree with you there. But just like the speech you just gave, we've seen this movie before, and I think that's part of the reluctance that everybody has with coronating him as
Jimmy G?
Well, let's take a look. Let's take a look
See,
back.
Dusty, you
let's go.
betrayed me.
Let's go back. Let's go back, and this is the last time they played the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So that season, Jimmy G had a better record. They were very comparable with completion percentage. Brock has a little bit better TD percentage. Interception percentage a little bit better as well. And same thing with passer rating.
What about teammates?
But yeah,
Coach,
look at this.
they were afraid to throw the football.
First team All-Pros in that season for Jimmy Garoppolo. He had one. He had Kittle. This year they have 5.
Wow.
Half the offense is a first or second team All-Pro player.
Yeah.
So they both got.
And that's the point too, because they were saying Kittle, Jimmy Garoppolo didn't really throw the ball that much, and they were afraid and stuff like that. And it's like, but look at the offense that Brock Purdy has now. I mean, it's night and day, and that's not even factoring in, Debo. And I would say that Debo is better now because Debo played with Garoppolo, Jimmy G. But I would say that he's even better now because now they really understand how to use him. And even if his numbers aren't, maybe, I'm not sure because I haven't looked at his numbers, even if his numbers maybe are technically not as good, it's because you have all these other players now, and so now there's so much more to go around, right? Christian McCaffrey is taking certain plays and certain touches that, say, Debo would have gotten, because they really relied on Debo. I remember the one Super Bowl run that they had, it was just like Debo, and I remember that was actually my introduction to Debo, and it was like, who the heck is this guy? What is going on here? And so yeah,
got to the same point, and the good news is he has had 2 comebacks, which was a big hesitation on my part, and now he's got a chance to dethrone the champ. And so if he outplays Patrick Mahomes,
then you give him his props.
Yeah,
All right, listen.
I'll
All right, hold on, Nick. Before you go,
What do you have?
he has to outplay Patrick Mahomes. I mean, like, come on.
Okay.
start moving.
That's
it.
a tough. That's a tough bar.
here's the
Move it
thing.
around.
While I'm flattered, I'm over the criticism storyline.
Oh.
I mean, because this whole concept that Brock Purdy is much maligned is just talking, I think, about me.
No, it's not.
The rest of the media, how do they think about him? They vote on the awards.
There are other voices.
Wow, talk about ego. Wow, you think everyone is just focused on what you're saying, and that's the criticism of Brock Purdy? Nick, Wright, I know you're getting pretty popular these days on media. Your stock is rising, no doubt about it. But bro, you're not Stephen A. Smith. You are not Shannon Sharp. You are not Colin Cowherd. You're not even Skip Bayless. Honestly, I mean, so I understand Skip Bayless' show is not doing that well right now. That's neither here nor there, quite honestly. But like this idea that everyone's focused on you is that's just not accurate. Colin has been banging on this drum for a while now with regards to Brock Purdy. So has ESPN. Again, even Stephen A. Again, I don't know how things have changed recently, and especially after the last couple of games. But I did review a clip before with Stephen A. talking about it, and other people on ESPN as well. So this idea that Nick Wright is leading the charge, that has always been my biggest issue with Nick Wright, is his ego. And you can just, to me, this illustrates this very perfectly, right? Like, he thinks that he's like, the leader in this, and you're just like, dude, yes, you have a show, you have a popular show, it's getting more popular, and again, your stock is growing, which is awesome. Congratulations to you. But please stop pretending like you are the leader of sports conversation here, or that you're the one that is constructing all of the narratives and everyone. So the fact that he just said he's flattering, that is such ego, because he does this all the time. He literally acts like he's responsible for Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. The way how he celebrates and does his victory laps, like you would literally think that he taught Patrick Mahomes everything he ever knew, and that Andy Reid is his father. So it's just like, you have nothing to do with any of it.
There's some other detractors.
Okay,
but
well,
you might be the loudest.
So here's what I know. All of his teammates are asked about him more than any of the actual All-Pros. Even the All-Pros are then asked about him. Draymond Green commented on it on the sideline after the Warriors game last night, that he's sick of the Brock Purdy criticism. He is compared to Joe Montana regularly. Not just by Brew, by others. Brew compared him yesterday to Drew Brees. So he is going to be at the MVP honors, or the NFL honors, up for MVP. So I don't think, I'm just over the criticism discussion as far as, is it fair or not? I believe this will end up being very, very similar to the Jimmy Garoppolo arc. We'll see. But what I do know is this. I actually think this is now treading into where it will impact the Super Bowl. Because I think the overwhelming story over the next 10 days is going to be about Brock Purdy. And I think the story is going to be about how this could be Brock Purdy's moment. I also think one of these Niners teammates is going to make a grievous error and say in front of a camera, he's the best quarterback in the NFL.
Nobody's saying that.
No way. Wait.
That would be an error.
All right.
Better than Mahomes.
I don't think anyone will say the quote, he's better than Patrick Mahomes. I think they will say the quote, I believe he's the best quarterback in the NFL.
Well, what's his name said that already.
Yeah. And now they're going to, right, but it's different when you're about to play Patrick. And fair or not?
It's not, because I don't think Patrick Mahomes cares. And Patrick Mahomes is a vet and experienced at this point, and he knows that if anyone on that team says that, Patrick Mahomes isn't going to take that as a slight. He's not going to take that as an insult. He's going to know, yeah, that's that. He knows. Real recognizes real. So, and athletes know. Athletes know athlete talk. So if he hears that, if let's say, it doesn't even matter who says it, Kittle, McCaffrey, or some other lower level player on the 49ers, Mahomes wouldn't be like, oh yeah, that's what you think? I'm going to show you. He's just going to like laugh and smile and be like, that's just Kittle trying to pump up his quarterback. You know, like he knows that. Mahomes isn't stupid. Mahomes isn't, he's not 19 years old here. He knows better. So that's just something that analysts and personalities like a Nick Wright act like is so much bigger of a deal than it really is. I can guarantee you that even if Kittle, McCaffrey, any of those players said that, Mahomes would just be like, all right, whatever you say. And it's not going to affect him. He's not going to be like, I'm more motivated than ever to show them wrong. No, that's just not the reality. Mahomes is too level-headed, too smart, too well coached, has too good of a team around him, coaching staff and all that. He's not going to fall prey to that nonsense. So that's what it is. It's nonsense. So I don't buy in that one bit. Everyone knows that you always are trying to pump up your quarterback, your team, your coaching staff, like everything, all the players around it. You're always like, yeah, they're the best. We believe we're the best. Let's go. And everyone knows that. Everyone on the field understands that game. But for whatever reason, fans and, again, people on TV seem to take that more seriously. And I think that's probably because a lot of them have their own lack of experience of playing true competitive sports at a high level. I'm very lucky I've been able to experience that. Nowhere near at the level as these actual true elite professional athletes, but at a high enough level where I understand the game. I've experienced it. I've had the conversations. I've given interviews and been interviewed and had people talk about me or having me talk about other people on the team or other opposing teams and stuff like that. And so that's just what it is. That's just a game. And again, that's something that maybe you buy into when you're young, right? Then I could understand. It's like, that person says that they're better. Oh yeah, I'm going to show them. Patrick Mahomes is very confident where he stands in this, and he's only chasing Tom Brady. Seriously, that's all he's worried about. That's all he's worried about. And it was the same thing with LeBron James and Michael Jordan. That's why LeBron James said, I'm chasing ghosts here. He wasn't focused on the argument of like, who's better, me or Kevin Durant, or me or, Giannis Antetokounmpo when Giannis started, becoming more up and coming, or Steph Curry for that matter, although they're a harder player to compare because it's completely different styles of play. So I just do not believe for a second Patrick Mahomes. And so I don't think it's going to impact the Super Bowl because it's not going to impact. Again, Shanahan is too smart and they have too good of offensive weapons around them that this isn't going to be Shanahan to be like, we're going to show that Brock Purdy can do it all. And now they're going to change their game plan. No, Shanahan is going to do everything that he can to win this game, whether that means to highlight Brock Purdy and to put all the weight on Brock Purdy's shoulders because that's what he thinks is best, or if Shanahan believes, listen, man, Brock Purdy's a huge liability. We've just been getting lucky and we have to just do it. Then he's going to hide Brock Purdy. Again, I'm not saying that's what he's saying. I'm just trying to make the argument that Shanahan is smart enough and experienced enough to know he is going to do exactly what he needs to do to put his team in the best position to succeed, whether that's putting Brock Purdy at the very top or putting Brock Purdy at the very bottom. So these conversations and these criticisms or whatnot, this is just par for the course Super Bowl conversation. Have we forgotten Jalen Hurts got criticized all last year? I already talked about this at the top. He got criticized all season, especially by the 49ers, especially by the Cowboys, other NFC teams saying he's just a system quarterback. He's just lucky because of that roster. Any quarterback would be successful in there. It was all the same things. All the same things. And then Jalen Hurts balled out in the Super Bowl. So, and it didn't change the game plan or anything of that. it didn't, inspire Mahomes when I'm sure other Eagles players said Jalen Hurts is at the top of the league and is playing great. He's the MVP. I don't think Patrick Mahomes was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna show you. So that's just silly talk. So I'm gonna shut that down right off the bat and just say no. But what do you all think? Do you think the criticism is fair? Do you think it's going to influence the Super Bowl? What do you all think? I would love to hear your thoughts on this one. Please let me know in the comments below. Please don't forget to subscribe. As I said, we are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really, really helps with the visibility and the algorithm. It's the easiest thing for you to do. You just click the button. That's all you got to do, and it really makes a difference for me, and I would truly appreciate it. Thank you so much, and see you next time.